All right. All right, cool. We're live. All right, cool. What's up, everybody? This Nerds Make Sense with Ted. I got a special guest that's been talking about doing a video with each other for a long time. For a very long time. He's the one that put me onto like StreamYard and stuff for our channel. But this is James. We've been friends since high school.
Yes, sir.
A very long time, yeah.
Forever.
And for you guys who at home, like this is the guy I always talk to about comics because I'm very honest on my videos when I talk about comic book stuff. I really stopped like I read comics when I was little. I read them, but like now there's like so much now. Like I'm not even caught up to like what's going on. So that I always be like, "Hey James, what does this mean?" Or "Hey James, like what's going on here?" Or "What's this?" And James would be like the number one guy to go to about comic book stuff. And we were always talking like, "Oh yeah, we should do a video." And we're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it one day." And then we were talking about the Eternals, and he was like, "Dude, let's for sure do it about Eternals." So I was like, "Oh bet, all right, for reals, let's do it." Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And it's been long overdue. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I could be that person for somebody. We have my people that I go to for like X knowledge. And I'll just say this: if someone tells you that they're a huge Eternals fan prior to this movie, they're probably lying because nobody knew about Eternals.
Yeah, I
Even in
honestly
my
didn't know.
circle.
Yeah, I didn't know when they because I always thought they tried to do this a long time ago. I don't know. They had like a maybe it was something else. I always thought they did this once like on Fox or something or FX.
Inhumans.
Okay, that's probably what it was. I
Inhumans
got those
had a
two.
real show.
Yeah, I got those mixed up, and I was like, "Isn't it we do this already?" And then, like, I read up on it. I was like, "Oh, these are completely different people." But
Yeah,
yeah,
Inhumans, the TV show was all right. If they could do a movie version of that, I would definitely love it. Like
mm,
they're just their own people, they're on their own world, and they're just very protective of themselves. They have powers. They have a certain way that they get their powers, and then for me, is their leader Black Bolt is just like the dude doesn't talk. Um, he when if he speaks or if he makes a sound, the power in his voice like will just blow up a room, or if he like actually says a word, he'll like blow up a whole city block, like just
dang,
through his voice. So he is literally a silent leader of people, and it's like crazy. Like just he has to hold all of his emotion in his face, and the people around him know him, and they know like the look of like when he's saying yes or no or
mm,
whatever, and then yeah, when shit goes down and he has to speak, like you're like, oh shit.
yeah, dude, like I can't wait for them to do something like that. But yeah, but
Yeah, that
with
would be cool.
with Eternals, like I didn't know anything about them to be honest, and I know a lot of people didn't, and I know there's a lot of like mixed reviews because like this was hyped up because this is like one of the like Marvel started to do like the out there stuff, not like out there, but like stuff that we started with, like superheroes, and we got into magic, and
Yeah.
now we're getting to like the space stuff, like cosmic and universe stuff. And I knew from the start, like oh yeah, a lot of people aren't gonna understand, like because my dad is like a Marvel fan, and I had to explain him this movie, and I'm like, all right, this movie's a little bit different. There's no superheroes, even though they look like they are. That is not Captain America, and he
Yeah.
generally he enjoyed the movie, but like it was different, and I knew a lot of
Hmm.
people weren't gonna understand it, and that's why like I got a lot of bad ratings, like from Rotten Tomato and stuff, and then there's like videos, and I was like, oh, this movie sucks, and then people were just like saying it to get views, but yeah, like I know the way we got into the like us doing this video today is like I was telling you, you posted that you liked it and I liked it. Some of my friends didn't like it or didn't understand it better yet, and so they're like, "Oh yeah, this movie sucked." And I seen a lot of people saying that it wasn't good. I'm like, dude, like what's going on? Like I generally enjoyed. I love storytelling, and this was
Yeah.
like a good. They did a good job going back and forth
Yeah.
with present day and stuff because there's a lot of movies that do it, and I'm just like, okay, this is boring, or they didn't do it right, or it's just like take a long time doing it, but they did a really good job jumping back and forth between present day and past and
Yeah.
future.
I'll have to see like some reviews because I know people that in my circle have liked it. I knew that the negative reviews were out there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't spoken to anybody that didn't like it. I know that some people were, like was okay, 6 out of 10, whatever. But I don't know my rating on it. I just know I thoroughly enjoyed the movie beginning to end. I
Mhm.
really want to see it again. I thought the characters were great. I thought the storytelling was great, like you said. The way in which they explained, again, like you said, the present day and seeing them at different eras of society and of the world, like, through the different, uh, well, like I said, through the different eras, and then how they told each person's story through jumping back to those eras and how a
Mhm.
certain era affected a certain person. And it was just like, I mean, I thought it jumped around without being like, damn, this movie's jumping around a lot. It was just well done. And yeah, and then like I said, the characters are great. I know a lot of people have said it's a long movie and it's kind of slow. And again, I don't know. I didn't feel that.
Not at all.
I
Yeah,
didn't feel it was super slow.
I heard the same thing that it was slow in that like it because I know one of my friends was like, oh yeah, it was good, but there's a lot of parts where it's slow and boring, and I'm like, dude, like they have to explain a lot,
Hmm.
and like for like I understand it's long because there's a lot to explain in this movie and to explore, and I know that they didn't want to like just rush past it and just be like, hey, what happened to this part or what you know or this character,
Right.
and I really enjoy like movies like that where they explain stuff to me that because I went into this not really knowing what the Eternals were, but after I know it's like comment like super accurate, again, but like I got a good like okay now I know what they're into and I can go into like comics and find out what more I want to after this, and then the attention to detail like the eras like they had I already forgot what was that where they had the blue wall like the
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
that was I love like how it all looked. It looked really great for going back in time and eras, and then the one with the Spaniards in the Aztecs.
Yeah, where they were all fighting and they got into
Yeah.
that was when they really got the whole debate, right? I think it was that part where they really got
Hmm.
into the debate of why are we letting them do this to each other.
Yeah, I love that scene was really powerful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I really loved it because they were like all fighting each other, and you could tell like they were like they really looked like they were in a real old argument, like it was real people. Like I
Hmm.
just like watched someone like videotaping it, but excuse me, but yeah, but it was really great. And I know, like again, like they had explained a lot, but it wasn't like boring whatsoever to me at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
no.
some people.
And and then you have those moments set up the big ending and the
Hmm.
each person taking their position of how they felt about what was to come.
Hmm.
And it was just a great build up. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and then, like the characters, all like all the characters are just great in their own way. Because I really didn't know some of the actors. I know some of them are in Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
And
the main guy Icarus was
mhm,
um who
the
else?
Sprite, I
Well,
think Sprite
obviously
was
the who?
Sprite.
Oh, okay.
I
See, I
think I think
honestly I
people
never
told
even
me.
watched Game of Thrones, so
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, I just
um
know that people were talking about it.
and then obviously Jon Snow, of course.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Um but yeah, I know it's those people are, getting into some movies here. I'd say between um in you know Fury, there's a lot of them in the franchise too. Like those, they're popping up in all these franchises now.
yeah. Yeah, but they were all really interesting to see how they were interact with each other. Like it's like when I heard Angelina Jolie was going to be there and Selma Hayek, like
Mm.
I was very surprised. I was like, okay, I was like, but their characters in this were very good, like, especially Angelina Jolie's character with the
Yeah,
Athena. Athena, sorry, yeah, but I
I
really liked
think
her character.
I did too. I like that she finally had her moment at the end.
Hmm.
I mean, I assume we're doing like spoilers and all that
Yeah,
if you
spoilers.
already.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
for her moment at the end, taking out the bad guy, and it was like, okay, finally. And then her even fighting Icarus prior to that, it was like, okay, because it was like she was the badass, but unfortunately, because she was dealing with the Mad
Ye-
Riri,
Yeah.
she was neutralized for pretty much most of the movie. And every time something big happened, that's but that's up. And I loved I think his name was Gilgamesh.
Oh
I
yeah,
loved his
Gilgamesh.
character. I
Yes.
loved his character. I loved his relationship with her, friendship, which I like how they did that.
Hmm.
I loved his just need to protect her. And like, dude was just badass. He was just badass, and he was just like, I'm gonna protect her, and I'm gonna take that chance that if something does happen, like, I'll either put her down or she's gonna kill me. But
Hmm.
he was confident in himself. I mean, he would do it in the first, when you were talking about the blue wall, like when he beat the shit out of the deviant, and then just the deviant went to get back up, and he just went over and just bit slapped him. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like, dude was badass, man. And spoiler alert, I was kind of bummed at his early demise.
Yeah, dude. I was so
Uh,
sad. I
I
didn't
was like,
expect that at
damn
all.
it,
Like I was
dude.
like,
Yeah, because I would have, like I said, he was badass, dude, and I would have loved
mhm.
to see him like with the major fight at the end. So to take him out early was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, that was sad. Like it's yeah, just talking with the deviant like absorbing like the powers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, that was kind of like trippy for me too, because like again, like I didn't know anything about them. I was like, dude. And then when they said they absorbed her power, because you see like her healing, and they're like, oh yeah, she's healing like Ajax and whatnot.
Yeah,
And I seen them get Gilgamesh. I was like, oh bro, no way.
yeah.
I was like, dude, that's like a big power because like he's like one of the
Oh
strong
yeah.
houses with Icarus. So I was like, dude, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And it sort of reminded me like Dragon Ball Z with Cell in like 17 and 18. I was like, dude, like this is crazy. It's creepy, but it was
Yeah.
really good. It was really cool. I also like let's see, what's his name really quick. I got the list, guys. Gingo, the
The
Kung,
tech dude, basically, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Fastos. Yeah, he was cool too, and I really liked him. And I liked how he was like, "Oh yeah, they were trying to make a steam engine already," and then
Yes.
everyone's like, "Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think they're ready for that." And he's like, "Okay, I'll make a plow. It plows
Mm-hmm.
dirt." But yeah, he was very, very good character.
Now, but to that point, like, that was one of my favorite um, explanations of his journey. I
Hmm.
loved his character development and how he was all about, I can create all these things and I can give these people this engine and do all this, and then boom, Hiroshima happens, and
Yeah,
they're just, and the dude was like, good luck getting him, like he's given up on humanity. And then you're
yeah.
like, what? And then they show why, and you're like, damn. So he felt responsible because he created that technology.
Hmm.
Then us humans used it for that, and he was just like, I'm done. I'm
Yeah, he
done
was
with
like,
these people. And then for him to kind of come around later, and it was just, yeah, when they showed the bomb, I was just like,
hmm.
oh yeah, that was heavy.
Yeah, and when I seen the bomb and it said like the date and it said Hiroshima, I was like, oh dude, like yeah, I knew this was gonna. And Ajax was trying to comfort him, like it's not your fault, and he was like, it is. This
Mm-hmm.
is my technology. Yeah, but yeah, and then like later, and then when he has his family, and
Yeah.
he was like, oh yeah, I gave up on humanity, but he changed me, made me see that they're not all like that. That was good character development
Oh
because
yeah.
I didn't want it to be like that angry guy who's like, no, I won't help you. Like every movie has like the person who's like doesn't want to interact with people, like
Well,
sort of
they
like
did. That was
yeah,
the mind reader dude, Druig or whatever.
oh yeah,
He
yeah,
was basically that guy. He did
mm-hmm,
not want to help them. He wanted, not really anything to do with them, because,
mm-hmm,
and I mean, again, that character development, he was a big role in the end there.
mm-hmm.
Not the end, in the in the middle part there, when he was just like, you know what? When he said, well, I don't know how he said basically like, when you see them doing all this, killing each other, and you have the power to stop it, what that does to you mentally. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, damn, this dude, yeah, like you kind of felt, he was still such a dick, but you kind of felt for
Mm-hmm.
him because, like, he really did have the power to just create peace,
Yeah,
period.
because he could have just told the whole world to be like, "Oh,
Hmm.
stop!" Yeah, and he played his character good too, and
Yeah.
like, because like I don't know like what other stuff he's done before, like in other shows, but like he played that like arrogant, like a dick, like he was
Mhm.
mean and a jerk. He played that really good because I felt that. I'm like, dude, like when he said something back to him or he argued with somebody or something, like dude, like I
Yeah,
felt that he's doing a great job with this character.
yeah, and yeah, and he pretty much told Ajax like, I'm gonna do it. I'm making
Hmm.
these dudes stop fighting, and you can kill me if you want to. And it was
Hmm.
just like, man. But
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, even to that point, like without getting all like deep and shit, but their explanation of us as humans and how bad we are at times, and they did
Mhm.
a good job of pointing out how you know
Yeah.
we're just evil to each other. We treat each other like crap. We're killing each other. They go through all the different things, the Hiroshima, they go through all that. And then they kind of, at the end, they're kind of more toning it down like, but humans have this. They have all these great qualities. And, not everybody, but half the group fell in love eventually with humanity. And that's why they wanted to save it. And that's what kind of set
Yeah.
up the whole movie. But I mean, it was definitely like you're watching it like, damn, we are great, but we are also terrible people.
Yeah. Yeah. They did a good job with that because that was because like you said, it was really good with the way they played that out. Again, it leads on to like more like everyone like defending like, oh, we're gonna go against the Celestials, and then one's just like, are you sure we can do that?
Mm-hmm.
You're like we had a plan. It also made me think like, Earth. It's always Earth that has like that changes someone's mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm like it's always because like they said they've been to other planets and stuff, and they went out with their plan to make Celestials, but like Earth is the one that made them completely like. Well, they got their minds wiped, so there could have been like other planets too, but they just
Mm-hmm.
went through it. But like I feel like
True. True.
this is the one that they show with Earth, and then they're like, yeah, we're all gonna just go against them, and like we're gonna stop this because they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. And oh, I forgot what I was gonna say, but
Yeah, with Kingo, the character Kingo, the I don't know how to say his name. Kumal,
oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the movie star.
Yes, and he shot
Yeah,
the
I
he shot the energy out of his fingers.
yeah, and I really liked his character. I thought he was because the way they promoted him, I thought he was gonna have like a not a bigger role because he did have a good role, but I thought he was gonna like do more in the film,
Or like be
fighting
more
wise.
serious. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting him to kind of be that comedic relief.
no, I was not expecting that, and I was like, wow, okay, because they were talking about how because I know people were saying like, oh, he lost weight for this role and got buff, but then
He did.
he was like, no, I did that for myself, and then he was like, I didn't do it for the role, so I
Mm,
thought, and then the way he's like he's like this in all the trailers and stuff, he looks buff. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a fighter,
yeah,
but yeah, I really liked him, and then his friend, what's his name? Oh my god.
yeah.
His friend
I
was so amazing,
I
dude.
know. I was just like, okay, how does this dude fit into this movie? And
Yeah.
is he seriously gonna walk around filming all this shit? And he did. And it didn't bother me.
Mm-mm.
I'm not here there to nitpick. Like I was like, okay, like this cool. And like when he kept busting out the different cameras because he kept breaking his cameras.
Yeah, I was scared. I was scared that, I was like, dude, I was like, this is a normal human being
He's
with
gonna
all
die.
these guys. Yeah, I was like, he's gonna die, and I'm gonna be so sad. But he didn't, and he had a lot of like honest things to say. And when he
Mhm.
talked, like you could feel that sentimental like speech. Like when Kingo said that he wasn't gonna help and he was leaving, and he was like, I'm just gonna go back to my studio and whatever. And he said goodbye. He was like, thank you for doing
Mhm.
everything you've guys done for all these times. Like, I appreciate everything. I was like, bro, that's so sad.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was
he
such a
did it.
great line though. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was great. That was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
I was like, dude, I was like, I love that guy. That guy was amazing. And the way that when he like he knew who they were, he was like, oh, Eternals, nice to meet you. And then was
Yeah,
like, how does he know that? What
yeah,
yeah. And then the one and then Makari, is
yes,
that the speedster,
yes.
dude? I
The
really
deaf
liked.
speaker.
Yeah, she was in. I think she's on The Walking Dead too as well. I think. If I Yeah, because there's I think that's her. But yeah, oops, that's my phone. But I loved her for what she was at. She was in it for like most of it from flashbacks, but like the present day
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
like she was like kind of the last to know about everything. Everyone already knew like the Celestials kind of lied to them and didn't tell them the whole truth. But when she was in it, when she was fighting, I really liked how this running was like, the being the speedster stuff, because I know a lot of people compared it to like the Flash. Because I see after the movie I started looking at, because when the movie came out, like people were already like talking about stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna look at that video, I'm not looking at that. So
Mm-hmm.
after it was over, I went back and looked at it, and they're comparing it to like the Flash and like Quicksilver from X-Men and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, like this is like amazing how they have her running around like this. This is how, or no, Quicksilver from Age of Ultron,
Right. Okay.
not
Yeah.
X-Men. Yeah, the way they compared that, I was like, dude, they did a huge step up with it. And she was an amazing character because she had like love interest with Druig, right? Druig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been people who are still talking about it, and I just seen a post before I got on here that on Twitter where they were saying, "Oh, everyone loves this ship," and then the actual actors like, "Oh, look at my love," and then she replied like, "Oh, we were the best" and stuff. And so it's pretty cool how like they're still like in character even though they're not.
Yeah. No, she was. I mean, yeah. It's the simple fact of, okay. So when you have a speedster in a movie, you have two options.
Mm.
You make them faster than real time, or you slow them down. And or I'm sorry, you slow everything around them down. So like you said, Quicksilver in X-Men, he moves hella fast, but everything around him is in slow motion, right? They do the big
Mm.
epic scenes where everything's in slow motion and he's running around. And then you have like Flash in the Justice League, where it was kind of a little bit of both. At times they did the slow mo, and at times they have him running around super fast. And like with her, it was just always fast. She was just running around, zipping around. Her fight with it was great.
Yes, dude.
Her really utilizing that speed and just whooping him, that was great
Mm-hmm.
and really
Yeah.
showed. And it was so much better that it was fast as opposed to being in slow motion and all that kind of stuff. It was just like, I mean, dude just could not catch a break. Was just zipping around, punching him from every different direction, and yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that dude, I could rewatch that scene over and over. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Just fast characters like in anything when it does stuff like that. Like I'm just, dude, that's so fresh. Yeah, but yeah, all the characters like I can't. I guess like the only one I can kind of like say I wasn't a huge fan of, but like she was the coolest Sprite. Like she was
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like I liked her and everything. But I don't know. The part where she was like, "Oh, she loves Icarus." Like I understand. Like
Yeah,
they're a heck of old. Like she's not. She was
but
created to
she
be like
looks
a
like a
kid.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I thought that was kind of like. I mean, Icarus wasn't doing anything, but I was just like, okay, I guess like I understand it. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think she was. Yeah, no, you're right. She was probably the least fit in mine too. I mean, yeah, she had her role. Um, but yeah, no, she was eh.
yeah, she
And then yeah,
like
and then she dipped off with him to be with him at the end.
mm-hmm. The one part when I was watching the movie when she cast like make it look like all the volcanoes, and she was like, go ahead and
Hmm.
try it, and then Drig comes and like hits her over the head with the rock, dude. Like my whole
Yeah,
audience like started laughing at that part because
nice.
and it was like it was kind of funny too because I'm just like that is funny because he just came up out of nowhere and just like bang, it's like all
Well, yeah,
right,
you just
take
assumed he
it,
was dead. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I was just like, dang, I didn't expect anyone to like start laughing because I didn't have a lot of people in my theater, but I was like, dude, I was like, that was surprised me. But yeah,
Yeah,
then
I
her wish
thought
to become human
to
is
the
kind of.
humor, I was like, it wasn't like I didn't feel like the humor was forced.
Mm-mm.
Um, it has its moments. They did a lot of comedy in the scene where they all get together with Dina and Gilgamesh and they all eat and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of comedy thrown into that part. Um, But I felt like, yeah, most of the movie was serious, and it was definitely a different tone than most of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, the director was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe Zhao, because I know they're like, because before, like when I went to go when Halloween Kills and all the other movies I've seen, like they always had like their, before the movie starts, they have like the
Mm-hmm.
behind this movies or movie or whatever, and they talk about it. They they were
I'm
talking about
never that
like,
early.
yeah, I'm really, I gotta get my seats. But I'm not like super early, but I'm like 20 minutes early probably. But you're always talking about Eternals and stuff leading up to it, and they're like, oh yeah, Kevin Feige's like, oh yeah, I picked her because she's like the perfect one to kind of direct this kind of big movie, and she did a great job with all these
Yeah.
characters and like the music and the direction she took it. It was very very good. Like,
And didn't you don't even have to have seen any other Marvel movie.
mm-mm,
They
absolutely
make
not.
a reference to Thanos, they make a reference to Avengers, and other than that, nothing.
Mm-hmm,
Nothing. And so it was like you really could just jump on at this. I mean, you shouldn't, but you
mm-hmm.
could just jump on with this one, because and that's what was great. It was like this was a big movie that had nothing to do with stuff.
Anything
Now obviously
else?
it'll lead to stuff, but
Yeah, it'll
well
lead to
even then
stuff.
what it led to, which the end credits, we'll get to, but like that the end credits set up future stuff that we haven't seen before. Even the end credits did reflect back to Avengers. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
Thor's the one that popped up on the ship at the end, or nothing like that. It was this movie was on its own. This is our movie, and we'll set up some stuff for the future. But this movie has really nothing to do with previous MCU.
Yeah, it's really, it's crazy too because like when I think about the internal, like the not the internals, the Celestials and stuff, and then I read the beginning scroll part, I was like, oh man, this is like a Star Wars scroll part, and then it was talking about
Hmm.
like, oh, what the Celestials have done and the missions for the Eternal, and then you find out that they're basically lying to him and stuff like that. I'm like, dang man, yeah, you can't trust anybody. Like it reminded me of Loki, where the when they were like, oh yeah, dude, like we have the TVA and we do this and that and stuff, and then you find out like that's just whatever. It's just like one guy, and it sort of reminded me of that. Like, man, even the gods of like space and whatever are just like whatever, we're just gonna lie to you and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, we could talk about the twists and all that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that, and I thought that was great. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you just really thought, like, okay, so, well, because in the trailer you see the scene of Ajax talking to Icarus in on her cabin,
Mm-hmm.
and she's all like, you know, the I don't even know what they called it, but whatever the event was is happening, and we only have a few days, and da da da, and then like she dies, and you're like, okay, so when does that scene take place?
Yeah.
And then they get to it, and you're just like, oh shit. So I mean, the whole twist of Icarus now becoming from good guy to bad guy, and then and again, was he a bad guy? Yeah, because he wanted to fight everybody off and everything, but it was like in his mind, he just believed he was being the good soldier to the Celestial, and he was
Mhm.
doing what the Celestial wanted. It was everybody else that was changing up. I'm just following orders, you
Yeah.
know.
They
And
even
go ahead.
sorry to cut you off, but they even
No, no.
like on the poster where they show like the Eternals, it even has them labeled as the good soldier. Like,
I didn't
and
even notice
like they
that.
have the good soldier, they have the wizard, they have the speedster and stuff like that. And he was labeled the good soldier. And after I watched the movie, I seen that poster. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, because like what you're
Yeah,
saying, he wasn't bad. Like he wasn't gonna be like, I'm gonna kill all the Celestials myself. He was like, no, he was like,
yeah,
I gotta follow through what we've been doing for all these years,
yeah,
and everyone just wants to change up on him. But yeah, it
yeah.
was really that was a really good part.
And yeah. So yeah, I mean, just seeing the evolution of all of them, and him setting her up. Now, once he took her to Alaska, I was like, okay, I already know where this is going. Like, he's
Mm-hmm.
the one that killed her. But
Yeah,
yeah, the initial twist of like, damn. So he knew. He knew. First off, you're like, when he tells Cersei like, this is your when the Celestial tells her like this is what you guys are programmed to do. Like that whole part, you're just like, oh shit, this movie is definitely different. It takes on a whole different meaning now. And then um and then you just have like, okay, Ajax knows this, and then she tells him, and now he has this burden, and that's why he left her, because he knew he was gonna tell her, Cersei that is. And
Mhm.
you're just like, man, like yeah, to keep that burden of like, this is what we're doing. I know something that none of you know, and in the end, like we're gonna really screw over these people. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah, and going back to like burdens, like it's sort of like because Icarus, like I mean, I guess he liked like he didn't hate like the humans or anything like that, but you know he got along with them and whatnot. Like he talked about
Mm,
like it was I could lead the Avengers and you know I can talk to everybody,
mm,
but when we talk about how all the other Eternals kind of felt bad about like not intervening or not helping or not doing or intervening too much, where you know like Hiroshima happened and they're bearing that burden of like they know they could stop it and stuff like that. Icarus had his burden of like you know like I know all this information and I can't tell anybody, but I still have
mm.
to do it. But these are like basically like his family, and he has to like hide it. So that
Yeah.
was like his burden of his own that reflects against like everyone else's burden about not helping mankind. So I kind of like it's like kind of like a mirror sort of for
Yeah, and
that.
the part that I missed on that was like it's not just as simple as do we create this planet and then feed this planet to the Celestial. It was the argument that a bunch of them made, and the movie star guy, his whole stance the whole time was like, yeah, but we're gonna kill Earth, but it's so that the Celestial can create a whole new galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was even heavier because you're like, you really were sacrificing a single planet for a whole galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you wanted Earth because of the people, and they fell in love with the people. But yeah, then you have that balance of yeah, but this is a whole galaxy that they're creating.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact phrase, so I'm like a paraphrase. They about like talking about like sacrificing and stuff like that. He was like, because I think the guy like he was talking about it about having like, oh yeah, Earth, you know, Earth is gonna do this for the Celestials, and then he was like, well, Earth didn't have a choice. They don't have a
Mm-hmm.
choice. We're just choosing
Yeah.
for them. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, it's like you're right. You are choosing for them. So how would you know, how far great they'll do or how good of people they are, but you know, you're choosing for them to destroy this and everything. And that was like another thing. I wish I could have remembered it, but that that was a phrase that he said or whoever said it. Like it was powerful because I was like, oh, you're right. Because they're always talking about like, oh, we're doing this, and you know they can lead to this and lead to that. I was like, well, we're not letting them make that choice. We're just choosing for them. Like they chose
Yeah.
destruction for
I
all those planets beforehand.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't remember who said it either, but you're right. That was a good part for sure. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know how people don't like this movie.
Yeah, it's probably just them not going into it and be like, hey, there's no like superheroes, no like Captain America or something. And I kind of figured it was gonna go that way because eventually, like, there's like more and more crazy stuff that's coming down the line
But
for with
like,
them. And
it was basically it. Eternals is basically just another Guardians of the Galaxy. Like nobody really knew
mhm,
Guardians of the Galaxy, but when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, like everybody loved it, and maybe that's just because it was more funny. That's
mhm,
probably what it was. They're more humor driven, and this was the same thing but way more serious.
yeah,
And so maybe that's what that's why the tone or people's attitude towards the two different groups is definitely so drastically different. But like now, like that, I mean, groups that nobody really knew about, we were all gonna learn about for the first time, and but they were doing important shit. Guardians of the Galaxy was
mhm,
our introduction into space, and
mhm,
is like this is our first like these are essentially quote like gods, at least with their powers. They're
mhm,
gods, but the power that they have and just the impact that they have is major. And then I almost kind of wonder like, okay, so in the movie we got the whole, well, why didn't you guys help when any of the other stuff happened and da 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 da. Now, um, it's like, okay, I know obviously you can't put them in there, but like I almost wonder, like, okay, are we not where the Avengers were during this movie? Because some shit going down,
Yeah,
you know. I don't know. Maybe they were all busy too, but I was like, this kind of something. This is a fucking giant being coming out of, and you're like, I
yeah,
understand that the Eternals are handling it, but you're like, wonder the Avengers are sitting there like, who are these people, and why is this giant thing coming out of Earth?
yeah. Like, yeah, because when I first seen it, when you see the hand, like you see the fingertips coming out, and I'm
Hmm.
like, bro, okay, so like they're talking about the planet exploding if it came out this animal. This is like half its hand and almost its face.
Hmm.
I was like, where's like the news or like anything else? And they're just
Right.
on the island. I was like, where's like like Captain America and like anybody?
I
I'm just
know.
like, or
I
no one
know.
came in or thing, but I was talking about like stuff. I would have loved to see like when we're talking about like where the Avengers have been.
Hmm.
Like I would love to see like Fasto's like like expression of when like Ultron was like running around because of
Mm.
technology. Like I would have been
Yeah.
what he would have to say about that. But, it
Yeah.
just makes me like think about like all that kind of stuff. Like, all right, well, they're there. Like, he's heartbroken about like the bomb and everything. And like, I would love to see what he said about Ultron or something.
It's a really good point because you know um, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, they're almost like the pinnacle of technology and science and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, like you said, what's his opinion on them? Is he impressed with what they've accomplished? And how smart they are, how advanced those two kind of made things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yeah, and then his like, God damn it, see, you done fucked up. You created all this, and now you created Ultron. This is why I don't like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I would actually like to see that too. His
No,
opinion on them.
I want to get your opinion on this. So I seen this a lot now since the movie, since I'm watching the videos and stuff on YouTube, TikTok, and all that about how they're saying that with the snap with Thanos' snap and how he potentially is like a good guy because he kind of slowed down because when he got rid of all the like half of the universe,
Hmm.
they mentioned that the snap got rid of half of the universe, so they kind of delayed the celestial being born and stuff, and everyone's like, wow, he was a good guy and stuff. Like, what is your opinion on that? Like, do you think that changes like what Thanos did? Like, do you think like he's a good guy because of that? Because there's a lot of people who I've seen or like have that opinion, like, oh, Thanos is a good guy, and now the Avengers look like they're a bunch of jerks,
Hmm.
like like for
I
what they
mean,
did.
I don't know if I'd go as far as saying he's a good guy, but I felt that way even watching um, Infinity War. And I mean, the best. So like the way villains have always been like described as like most. Obviously, you have certain exceptions, but a lot of villains in their head that what they're doing is the right thing. A lot of bad guys in movies are just a person that believes that they're doing the right thing in their way.
Mm-hmm.
And so with him, he said like, look at what happened with his home planet. And yeah, he's killing half, but he truly truly believed that he was saving the rest by
Mm-hmm.
doing so. And he, keeping the world from being overpopulated and keeping hunger away and all that kind of stuff. And so like I even felt then like, yeah, he's not he's a bad guy because essentially he's still killing a lot of people, but
Yeah.
he really just wants something good, you know. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look, so look at what does he do? And again, this was even true in the comics. What does he do after he accomplishes it? He goes out in the middle of fucking nowhere and just becomes a fucking farmer. Like he wasn't trying to be this evil person taking over. Like, he just wanted to accomplish his goal and then just chill.
Yeah, he really want to be king of like the universe or like a tyrant. He's
Yeah.
like, all right, I did it. I'm gonna go be a farmer now. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, I
he
just
destroys the, in the movies, he destroyed the gauntlet, and he told him, like, it just serves temptation after that.
mhm.
It was like, yeah, like, damn, he's fucked up, but I kind of like this guy, man.
Yeah, I thought it was very because I was like they kind of so he delayed it because my thing I was like he delayed it, but I don't think he like stopped it because eventually
Right.
they would have just repopulated. It'd just take a couple more years or so if like if they never Avengers never like fixed it or time traveled.
A couple more
Yeah,
thousand.
to repopulate. So
A
it's not
couple
like
more thousand years.
it would have like happened, but like it just delayed it by a lot. So I was like I was like I don't know where everyone's coming with this. Like I don't get that. But yeah. Yeah, but
Now,
then
the only interesting thing that I've seen, and I didn't know this until I looked it up, because like I said, I didn't know shit about Eternals, but apparently the in the comics, Thanos is his bloodline part deviant.
mhm,
Technically speaking, they would have been allowed to fight him or intervene in his plan because he essentially is a deviant. Now, what is that he's probably not in the MCU. They're gonna, wipe that
yeah,
part out of the way because it fits the storyline, which is fine. But that was just something that I've seen by a lot of people of like, well, when they say they're not allowed to interfere unless it's deviants, technically he is one, so they should have been allowed to intervene on that one.
yeah, I didn't even yeah,
And when
dude,
you
that's
think about, like
crazy.
you
Uh-oh.
said, he not only would he essentially be a deviant, he also, like you said, delayed the plan of the Celestials. So they definitely have been able to intervene on that one,
Yeah,
but they're not going that route.
yeah. The ending and everything when they turned it to when Cersei's turned him to stone and everything. I was like, okay, so I thought like you, I don't know. I just thought they were gonna. I didn't know he was just gonna be still with the hand coming out of the ground. Because I'm like, where's the news coverage of that? And then it shows like it like two
Yeah.
weeks later or something, and it shows like the hand like we don't know where this came from. I'm like, okay, we're just like okay, but the ending kind of got me because I'm like, okay, so what? So what's the bad thing? Like they're just gonna let them live, or So what? I was like, there's gonna be a bad. No one. I mean, there wasn't a happy ending because like Icarus flew into the sun because he couldn't live like with what he did.
Yeah.
He felt like he had and it was kind of good play too because he was Icarus, the one that flew a little too close to the
Yeah.
sun, and then he flew into the sun. I thought that was although that was clever. I don't know if they meant to do that on purpose, but I'm pretty sure they did because it's like
Probably,
Marvel
yeah.
and yeah. But I was like that was pretty clever. And then Sprite wanted to become like human.
Just a
She still has
human,
all the
yeah.
powers. Yeah. Everyone just went off to do the thing. I was like, okay, so what's the bad part? I was like, it's gonna come, something bad's gonna happen, and then the dude was telling Cersei's like, oh, something about my family line, and then you see the face and everything. I'm like, oh, here it comes.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I was
That
like,
was
dude,
crazy.
that's so scary. That dude's like, bro, he's like, you know what you did? I'm taking y'all. You're done. I was
That
like, bro.
like that's kind of like Mortal Kombat, right? Where they're all
Mhm.
just chilling at the end of Mortal Kombat, and then he just pops up in the fucking sky. That was like definitely Mortal Kombat ish.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, wait, I already forgot his name. Yeah, but the guy. Yeah, that's heck of funny. I didn't think about it. Yeah, he just shows up and just takes him.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, okay. But yeah, no, that was awesome, and like I put on my post, like I saw it in a JBX theater. That's what Modesto offered, and oh my god, dude! Every time. So first off, the action was badass. Gilgamesh, when he's punching people, like the whole room, because it's like a super surround sound boosted room, and
Mm-hmm.
so like his punches were insane, like with the loudness, the boom, and then the room shakes. Dude, when those skills came out, that was on some other shit, and like the whole room does like this vibrating tension of like them coming out, and I was like, this is awesome. So to see him at the end, he's just hella big, all in the freaking sky. and then you're just like, God, dude, like,
I, w-
dude
I
could
was wondering,
literally, you could just go like this, just flick, or just like boom,
like
Earth
a
gone.
marble, yeah, like.
Like, damn, dude.
I was like, is that only them able to see it, or is it just like everybody? And then after they were taken,
Yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" I was like, "Oh, everyone's seen it. That's scary as hell."
hell yeah, dude.
It was like just an unknown thing just there in the sky like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I was like wondering, like, man, what's gonna happen? There's no, like, this can't be like a super happy ending. Like, there's no way
Right.
everyone just lives their life. But yeah, but it was
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
they
Like,
betrayed. I mean, yeah, they betrayed their original mission. They betrayed the Celestial, who is hella fucking those. They're hella powerful, and
mhm.
you're just like, yep, this is not. He's not just gonna be like, okay, you
Like,
stop
dang it, he got it. Yeah,
this.
you got me there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm
but
super excited for what's coming next, though.
so
That's.
yeah, so the end credits.
Mhm.
So the first one, I didn't know who was coming through. I actually did a pretty good job staying away from
Yeah,
all
I
the
did too. I
spoilers.
didn't know what was happening.
Know who was through, and then as soon as I saw Pip the Troll, I knew him, and I was like, okay, so who's coming out? I honestly, I thought, I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, like Adam Warlock,
Mhm.
because I know that they've been talking a lot about him. So like Adam Warlock is, he is inside the gold. If you remember Guardians of the Galaxy, they have like that gold tomb, right? So he's in
Yeah,
there, and they cast the dude. I don't know if you saw that, but they cast him already. He's remember the dude from, oh,
from the
we're the
RV movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
the We're the
yeah.
Millers.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the dude that's playing him, and I thought like, oh shit, is this our first like look at him? Um, but then instead you get Harry Styles. I was like, man, good for Harry Styles, bro. Good for
Mhm.
him to branch off and fucking he made it to the MCU. Like, damn, props.
They're getting the top people out here into NCU and stuff.
Yeah. So, but even then, I mean, that's not a character that I'm super duper familiar with, Eros. So I'll have to do my own little research on him, but um, it should be cool. Should be cool seeing him pop up. And sounds like now whether this is a different movie or whether two, which I don't even know if that's scheduled, but sounds like obviously he's gonna go with the remaining Eternal, hunt the three that were picked up, Cersei and uh, well, who was picked up? Cersei and because I thought he picked up them, right?
Yeah.
Probably those that were on Earth. So the movie star, Sprite, and Cersei, he is probably who he picked up. So they'll have to go find him. That'll
Mhm.
be cool. That'll be
Yeah, I
definitely a
know.
space travel movie.
Yeah, because when I seen Pip the Troll come out, I didn't know who that was. I'm like, bro, is this like some Howard the Duck type scene? Like, I was like, who is this? I was like, bro, what is this? I was so confused. I was like, who is this? And then
Yeah.
I seen the guy come out, and then he was talking about like the brother of Thanos. I was like, who? I was like, brother
Mm.
Thanos. Even and I said it to myself. I was like, brother Thanos, and they're like, Thanos had a brother. I was like, bro, what? So that like took me by surprise. But yeah, it did say Eternals are returning, and they usually do that when they have a sequel or it's going to be like in some
Mm-hmm.
other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they haven't announced like a Eternals 2. But
Yeah.
but yeah, he's like the Eternal that sort of like them. They just kind of figured out, you know, what's going on. He like a rogue Eternal, I guess you'll call him, right? Like
On
they're
who?
just the rogue, like just sort of like just like the other Eternals, like
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Eos is his name. They just like kind of deviated away from the plan, and he's doing his own thing, and he knows where they're at and stuff. But yeah, I'm super
Yeah.
excited
That'll
for
be
more of
cool to
that.
see. And then the second one, which I honestly I thought like we were going to get Black Knight like in this movie. I
Hmm.
thought he was going to pop up at some point, and apparently not. So then you have Jon Snow's character. I don't even know his name in the movie, but so his character, he'll be the knight, so he'll be a literal knight riding around on a fucking flying horse, and so he'll be set up for either his own future movie, or a part of something else. But did you look up like who the voice is that talks to him at the end?
Yeah, I didn't look it
Damn.
up. I didn't look it up. It was just in a video I was watching about like a review for Eternals,
Yeah.
and then they just literally said like, "Oh yeah, it was confirmed that it's Blade." I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Because like I didn't know who Black Knight was, so I found like after like I told you, I watched a bunch of reviews for Eternals after I watched the movie because I was like, okay, I can watch these movies now or these videos, and I did not get any reference for Black because I didn't know who Black Knight was,
Mm-hmm.
but like there were so many references to Black Knight that I was like, oh dude, like I feel so like I didn't know who he was, but I was like, I would have been so dumb if I didn't like because they talked about the Ebony Blade when they went back to the ship, and it was like, oh no, this is Excalibur, and then they talked about the crest of that he got. She was like, oh, I got it from eBay, and that was like she literally had it. And I was like, bro, like how did I not catch on that this dude was gonna be something bigger other than just as Cersei's like human boyfriend? Like, I was like, there's no way I didn't catch on to that until that. Because I was like, okay, he has a sword. I was like, a sword. Who has a sword? I was like, what? And it's talking. It has a different language written on the box.
Mm-hmm.
Like who we getting? And then they told me Black Knight. I was like, Black Knight. Who the heck is that? They're like, oh yeah, we had a lot of Easter eggs and references throughout the whole movie. I'm like, bro, like I didn't know. Yeah, and then Blade being there, yeah, like you said earlier, like this, like the end credit scene set up stuff that doesn't go back to anything else. It's just more future stuff.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, no, I've never read anything Black Knight. I know I have like his first solo book or something like that, but I never read it. I just knew who he was, and then I knew that that's who got casted at. I was like I said, I was kind of expecting him to come up at like the end of the movie, just fucking come by on a flying horse. And then yeah, but then to wait until the end, and then yeah, now it's just a matter of does he get his own movie, or not? I think we're frozen. One of us is frozen. On my end, you're frozen. And then I'm probably frozen on your end. I could look it up. Oh, now it's just me. Well, this has now become awkward. But anyways, I will just continue on with my own story now. So yeah, Blade, being the end, and I did not know that that's who the voice was until after I looked it up. And Blade will be cool because that will set up, again, just future stuff. Probably the two of them in a movie, so that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, either way, good movie, and don't pay attention to the reviews. Just go check it out yourself and enjoy it. And go see it in a surround sound theater if you're granted the opportunity to. And yeah, from there, go check it out. And I don't think Ted's coming back, so I guess I'll have to end the video for him. Of course, thank you for anyone who watches or comments or likes. You can follow me on Instagram at The Comic Raider. You can hit up Ted. Make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. The Nerds Make Sense. Obviously, you already know that if you're watching this. So hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, thank you all. For anyone who watches, go check out Eternals movie. And that'll do it for me. Peace out.